let's talk about Manipur as well, because a lot happened in Manipur.
A lot is happening
on
in Manipur.
In the national capital. We were hoping that Amit Shah would meet the, the ILTF leaders, the ITLF leaders, but that didn't happen. Amit Shah himself was in the parliament, it seems. There was an 8-hour-long discussion debate over the Delhi bill. So that meeting, it seems, is going to happen today. There are some demands that they have, put forth. Even the Kuki NP of Manipur, the umbrella body, the apex body of all the Kuki tribal groups of Manipur, have put out a very stern demand, and we'll talk about that as well. But first and foremost, what the Supreme Court had to say in terms of the Supreme Court monitored probe into the sexual violence case of Manipur.
I was actually reading that aspect only.
A panel of what the top court wants done. It's quite clearly laid out here. I'm just going to put it out, and then we can talk about the intricacies. It says what the top court wants to be done. Panel of 3 ex-judges to look into the relief and rehabilitation. This is ex-JNK High Court Chief Justice, retired Geeta Mittal, who's going to be the head of this particular 3-member committee. Ex-Bombay High Court Judge Justice, retired Shalini P. Joshi, and ex-Delhi High Court Judge Justice, retired Asha Menon. Now, what the top court wants are a couple of things. 5 officers to be brought into CBI from different states to oversee the probe. Ex-Maharashtra Police Chief Dattatreya Padsalgekar to monitor overall CBI probe into sexual violence. 42 state SITs, each comprising inspector from another state, to look into cases not transferred to the CBI. SITs to be supervised by 6 DIG rank officers that are not going to be from Manipur. This is a CGI-led bench that moves to restore trust in law. As the Attorney General says, situation in Manipur right now is very tense.
Allowing shifting of 11 abuse cases to the CBI is a big effort on the part of the Supreme Court. SC allows transfer of 11 cases of sexual violence to the CBI. So that is a huge thing. And what they have said is that the reason behind this move is that they want to in fact say the directions are aimed at restoring faith in rule of law, building of confidence in the strife-torn state. Kabir, so the fact remains is that there's this huge trust deficit when it comes to these law missionaries, and that is what is in fact leading to it. And I think the Supreme Court is trying to restore that trust in the process of law in Manipur because of the nature in which it has turned out to be. And of course, you're talking about 3 female judges panel that is in fact going ahead to that shows some kind of sensitivity to the matter as well, that it is the all-female judge panel that is looking into it, which is in fact very good in a large perspective.
What we're showcasing right now is that KPA has withdrawn the support from the N. Biren Singh government.
This was yesterday.
But then again, the Kuki NP Manipur has put out, the apex body of the Kuki tribes has put out a question to the Parliament of India. And this question, I'll just read out this question. It says, the Kuki NP Manipur is utterly dismayed by the incessant terming of Kukis as foreigners or otherwise illegal immigrants. Some people are also calling them terrorists by the state government. Consequently, the ruthless attacks of Metis against the Kukis in connivance with the state governments, who have engineered anti-constitutional organizations as the Arambai Tengol, Methi Lipun and others, under the watch of incumbent Chief Minister N. Biren Singh and the Member of Parliament Rajya Sabha taking a name, is a testament of the state government's animosity against the Kukis. The Kuki NP Manipur would like to therefore implore the central government to put an end to this contention and clearly spell out whether they think the Kukis as foreigners in line with the vitriolic narratives of the Metis or as true citizens of India. The central government must answer now, pronounce us as foreigners or otherwise protect us as true citizens of the country and save us from the raging attacks of the Metis against our people and our land. This is what the Kuki NP Manipur has said, and the the indigenous tribal leaders' forum, the ITLF leaders that are in the national capital, even as Mizoram Chief Minister Zoramthanga sort of like convinced them to have this meet in Delhi. Yesterday they were supposed to come to Delhi in the evening. This is on the Manipur front. A 5-member delegation of the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum is going to meet the Union Home Minister Amit Shah today and raise their 5 key demands, including a separate political administration, and a mass burial in Churachandpur district of the Kuki-Zo community members killed in the ethnic violence since the 3rd of May. We have 5 main demands. Our political demand of total separation from Manipur should be sped up. As the burial of the bodies of the Kuki-Zo community members has been delayed, the bodies are now lying in Imphal and all the bodies should be brought to Churachandpur. ITLF Secretary Muan Tombing told the PTI.
But there is an issue over there.
Now,
Because,
on other demands, Tombing said...
Before you talk about the bodies, there's another thing. Unclaimed bodies are that of infiltrators is what has been presented before court.
Before the court, right.
And then now we have them saying that it all belongs to
and
the
Kuki MP Manipur is saying that either come out and clearly spell us
whether we are
as
foreigners. See, it makes sense because one of the vitriolic narratives against the Kuki has been, as he rightly pointed out, is that they are all immigrants. And how do you distinguish between the immigrants who are staying over here and those who are not staying who are proper Indian citizens or not? And when the violence had started, they had in fact ensured that this narrative kept going, that it is infiltrators from Myanmar who is actually stemming this. There's narco-terrorism on one side. So that debate has been always going on them, and it looks like that the Kuki MP wants a clarity on this, whether they are Indian citizens or not. But again, Kabir, one of the issues that you have in fact raised over here is also about the separate demand. So it's moved out of separate administration. They have been talking about it, but I think it's a movement towards a separate state being carved out of Manipur. But how practical that will be is of course going to be a very different issue altogether.
On the separate administration, separate state front, I really don't want to jump the gun, Varghese, to be very honest and personal. It just hates me. I hate the fact that there's going to be another boundary line, a potential boundary line even within a state. It's a sad thing. Outside of a state becomes an even sadder situation. I don't want that to happen, but if that's the demand, if that's what's going to quell the violence on the ground and become the road towards reconciliation, well...
You're saying so be it.
I don't even want to say it.
You don't want to say it, okay.
But the steps taken by the Supreme Court, I'm personally in favor. These are very welcome steps. At least
because the aspect has been, Kabir, is to restore. It is the aspect of it has been to restore. The aspect of it is to restore trust. I mean, that is and it's a good move that they have an all-woman panel group of judges who are or retired judges who are in fact looking into it.